What do you want to say?
In 2023, what is going to be the key metric for outbound sales using the phone? What is it? Is it booking meetings? Is it having qualified conversations? Is it understanding whether you're actually reaching your target market? What do you think?
In 2023?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is still stuck on how do I get revenue from whatever channel it is, right? That's the number one thing that matters most is it driving revenue? But if it's not driving revenue, if you're asking what's the next most important thing, it should be, am I even talking to the right people? Because the rise of data and automation and all this crap that's been out there so far, even with these intent-based vendors, right? You got everybody out there spraying and praying. Like they're doing all these activities, finally getting somebody into a conversation and then realizing, oh, that's not the person I should be selling to, because it takes so many activities just to get to one conversation. They have no idea if they're targeting the right people, if they're saying the right things, and if those two are the function that's leading to a lack of conversion, or right, or if they even have product market fit. I mean, the reality is there's so much crap in the market. Maybe they have a great idea, but they don't know who they serve and how they serve them. I don't know. That's my take on it. I don't know. What's the answer from your perspective?
You know, I don't know the answer, but I do know that linking revenue to outreach activity is incorrect. I do know that. And the reason why I say that is because the revenue generation is so far removed from the outreach activity that you can't actually measure it. Because when we're working in the top of the funnel, which is, it's not even in the funnel, it's like outside of the funnel. That's where you and I live, and our teams live.
The funnel above the funnel.
Right, exactly. And so that's where you and I live. And the point that I'm asking is trying to even think about, and we have this when we run our test drives, customers say to us, oh, well, you know, we want to know what happened with the 7 bookings that happened before we decided to commit. And my answer is, who cares? You got 7 conversations in 2 days to have with actual real life people to see whether or not you're really gonna actually be hunting in the right space. And so that's why I'm asking the question, what's it gonna be in 20? How can we change the message?
But you can't because you have organizations that are so desperate. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. I understand where you're coming from. The behavior change, I've been preaching this for fucking 7 years. Right? I've been saying, I mean, the only thing that matters at the very top of the funnel is how many daily completions. That's the only thing that matters. Like if you know that you're getting enough conversations with the people you believe you should be talking to with a yes, no, not me, not now. You get enough of those every single day, then you'll know the math of how many of those need to happen to get to enough yeses over time. Right? Your argument is that and that's how you actually track it towards revenue. But the problem is everyone thinks that conversation today is revenue today, and it's not, especially at the top of the funnel. If you knew about me, we'd be doing business together already.
Right, like deals, every CRO, every head of sales should understand that there are 3 types of deals: short-term, medium, and long-term deals. And short-term deals, depending on what your sales cycle is, are anything under 90 days or under 60 days or even under 30 days. If you look at your deal close one average deal ratio, you'll get a very good sense as to what your short-term deal looks like, what your midterm deal thing looks like, and your long-term deal thing looks like. And all the conversations lead to a variety of those different types of conversations in the funnel. But you can't link direct top of funnel, pre-funnel activity. That's a better way to think about it. Pre-funnel activity to actual revenue. What you can link it to is to product market fit. You can link it to reach in a particular target demographic. I was working with a client that we've been working with for a number of years in the emerging technology space. They're literally pioneering an entire industry. Okay. This year we PRL 2,400 prospects for them. All right, over the span of 12 months. Well, maybe 11 months, because really we've not done any PRL data in this year, this month for them. We've spoken to 80% of the list.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
could not do that.
2,000 conversations?
Like 1,900 conversations.
Yeah.
All right. Or more importantly, 1,800 conversations and 100 of bad data or not the right person or moved on, or we've had so many conversations, right?
You've had more conversations that connected that happened to have just moved on or was bad data to be the annoying case than what most people have in the entire year. And that's
looking at the data set, 100 people left the company, right? 55 people asked us to call them back. Like, you have to understand, like, and we've gotten so, with this particular client, so specific that we're actually going to be able to go to where the data source came from, what industry they're looking at, and what the firmographic looks like to understand what personas are resonating in what industries and what times. We're able to get to that level of specificity because we're using PRLs. We know that, so for example, of the 35% of everybody that we spoke to is unqualified. Why are they unqualified? 2/3 of the people that we spoke to that are unqualified, so it's like 700 or 800 people are unqualified. 2/3 of them are because they're the wrong person. So we're targeting the wrong persona. And the other third is because the company does not have the enabling technologies in order to use the customer solution.
How much of that they're the wrong person would be available to you unless you had the conversation? It sounds like
we wouldn't know it. We wouldn't know it.
Yeah, because the title sounds right? Like
because all the titles are like multiple industries. Okay, everybody has a different title. And when you're in an emerging space, all right.
Well, even when you're in a, I mean, look at sales, right? You know, like you reach out to VPs of sales in certain even companies these days are individual contributors. They are not the sales leader. So
correct.
Segmentation based on title is obsolete in this age of, Wild Wild West with, chief feelings officers and whatever the heck you want to call them.
Let
alone traditional titles being inflated so that you don't feel like you're a salesperson. All sorts of craziness. So
in the finance space, we had another client who ran a pilot with us, and they gave us 300 VPs in the finance space, meaning banks, insurance companies. Okay, they are notorious.
All of them are VPs.
Notorious. Every VP that we spoke to, is an independent producer. But so when you're working, but the only way, so this client wants to know, who are the 300 companies whose account is unqualified that we should never put into our marketing funnel, ever, because they don't have the enabling technologies that our tech overlays.
Right.
We could just ignore them.
Yeah, the technographics that you may not be able to, you might not even be able to find without calling and asking. Right.
And even though the data sources that we use have technographics that suggest that they're the right company, that's outdated as well.
So we went through, we had a pilot this year. I don't know if I ever shared the results with you, but in our demo data where we show how we score data now, and here's an average list, here's our worst list ever. One of them was with a company that they spent all this money on a list that was supposed to be every company that had QuickBooks. Right. And then within that, they wanted to target companies with QuickBooks, and they wanted to go after the CFOs or the VPs of finance. So similar to this concept.
Right.
Well, first of all, we had to go through like 10,000 records just to get to 100 picker uppers. That's how bad the source was. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
It was like 0.0,
Wow.
it's like
Wow.
0.0 something
Wow.
percent connect rate. It was insane. It was
Right.
crazy. Like the dial to connect rate was 0.02 or something, 0.02%. Like it was nuts. And
Right. 2/10 of 2/100ths of it, 2/100% of pick up the phone.
most of it was just crap data. But then in addition to that, they're like, oh yeah, the contact data must be bad, but definitely the firm, the technographs are great. That's what we spend the money on. They're great on the technographs, maybe not the contact information. Okay. So we enhance that file, get better contacts run through it, a little bit better connect rate. It's like a normal 2 or 3%. So we get another chunk of data in there. We start calling through that, and 80 to 90% of the records are like, no, we don't use QuickBooks. What are you talking about? Right. And here's the kicker on this. That was a pilot we ran. We get to the end of it, and Justin was the one that ran this when he tells this story. We get to the end of it, and they're saying, yeah, that was a waste of money. That was a waste of time and money. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, if you didn't come to us to figure this out, and you went and did what you were going to do, hire a couple SDRs, get this list and start calling it,
you would have been a year or two in.
It would have taken them at that point, it would have taken them like 36 months.
Right.
Let alone like, I mean, what are they going to do?
Right.
They're going to start emailing it, just all this crap. They're never even going to
Right.
really pick up the phone anyway. But when they were picking up the phone, even if you had an activity hound, they'd be like, oh yeah, check out all these dials we're doing. You're not talking to anybody. You're not getting any information. Oh, and by the way, we just helped you learn that in 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a waste. That was a waste of time. What? It would have been a waste of time. You're welcome. Holy crap.
So
it was your list. You're like,
right. It gets down to like, you have to have an open mind about how to actually go about building this list. You have to be prepared to work with someone who's going to iterate over time, right?
Yep.
So, the last iteration said, well, maybe it's our message. So we changed our message a little bit. Same results.
Yeah.
Same results, right?
Yep.
And so the point that I'm thinking about for 2023, when I'm communicating to new clients, it's going to be about, we're going to help you find the right people faster.
That's interesting. Is that your tagline?
I don't know.
Inside CRO.
I haven't decided.
Find the right people faster. Oh, by the way, make the phone great again. Make the phone great again. I love it.
Phone great again.
I got to jump to another call, but this is awesome. I appreciate your insights.
All right. And always make one more call.
One more call, baby.